Yo, how you doing, Mr. G?
I'm great. I feel great. I exercised this morning, you know.
Yeah.
I'm well rested. Business is good, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's there to complain about? God is good. ED was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna start with that. So you're sharing some, I don't know whether to call them ED pictures.
Yes.
I don't know whether you flew to Abu Dhabi,
Yeah.
for ED or, tell
Yeah.
us, how was it?
Okay, I didn't fly anywhere. That was some time back when I was in Dubai.
Yeah.
But every time I've experienced ED in like Dubai, it's like amazing. You get me?
Yeah.
Like you get to appreciate other people's culture. You get me?
Yeah.
And yeah, the Muslim community is really strong, and it has like so many contributions to the world.
Yeah.
There's so many people I'm so sure and not conversant of. Not to mention geography, you know, numbers, the numbers we use, you know. If you're
Yeah.
obsessed with numbers, no, the Arabs gave you that. But
Yeah.
the Muslim community is not only in Dubai.
Yeah.
Up to Marrakesh, you know, in Morocco, you have the Muslim community, Libya, Uganda, Tanzania. Muslims are everywhere, and it's the fastest growing religion in the world.
Yeah.
So there you have it.
Yeah, quite interesting. You at the American Center, we saw some pictures as well, you know. You were addressing some young youth right there. What was going on? Did you spend your weekend like that?
Yeah, I was invited to give a fireside chat, like a speech of sorts. I'm in the realm now where I give so many public speeches. Some are paid, some are out because I feel at my level I should be impacting young people.
Yeah.
They say you pay it forward, right? Like what was offered to me in terms of advice from like people I looked up to in the industry is now my chance to give it back.
Yeah.
In this realm, we're talking about creative entrepreneurship, which I believe is the only way through for Ugandans and Ugandan entrepreneurs. It's like a very unexplored field that has a lot of potential, right?
Yeah.
Not only does a creative entrepreneur create a new industry where they could employ 25 people or even more, depending on what field they're in. If they are into fashion, you know, that's a whole fashion brand, from manufacturing, from designing, manufacturing, distribution, and the whole nine, you know, marketing. It's like a whole industry around one person. So we were looking at my experiences in America, how I've managed to navigate and create something. And also my brother Kenneth Mugabe was hosting.
Yeah.
And he's an alumni of a program the embassy has, right?
Yeah.
And he was talking about his experiences working with some of the best people in America.
Yeah.
So this space, from how I understand it, is a space where Uganda meets the US, right?
Yeah.
And I've always talked about how I want to be the bridge between American cities and like Ugandan cities, sharing not only information but experiences, and making sure that we work together, right?
Yeah.
To create amazing things, because we're amazing people with a lot to offer to the global market.
Yeah. So Will Smith, talked about getting back into the music, and he said he asked for advice from Jay-Z and K-Dot. Before we even get into it, did he choose the right people to advise him?
Oh, Jay-Z and K-Dot, I don't think it gets any better than that. If you're to get advice from Jay-Z and Kendrick Lamar, who else's advice do you need when it comes to rapping?
Who would you get advice from?
I'm a very introspective person. I listen to me.
In Uganda?
In Uganda, there's no one. Advice from who? But when it comes to rapping, actually, I ask for advice from people who are not in the industry at all.
Yeah.
I ask all people, have conversations with someone who has seen Uganda like from the 60s to now, and your perspective is so different. What's a rapper going to tell me?
Yeah.
You get me? Like few rappers I can really learn from in Uganda.
Yeah. Well,
and this is not coming from arrogance. It's just coming out of self-discovery and what has worked for me. You get me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you say Jay-Z told him, don't fake your story. It was like you gotta say what's true for you.
Exactly.
What do you think of that advice?
I think going by the speech which we're also given and what I've always advocated for is the authenticity of self. You get me? That expression always, that unapologetic expression always has rewards. You get me? Whether you're telling your story through art, whether you're looking for joy, fulfillment, you know. Authenticity can't be beaten. You get me? But I think Will Smith already knew that. Sounds like a no-brainer to me.
And Kendrick told him, said that you've always been freaking scared to say.
I think that's better advice because the other one sounds too generic, right? The one of like, be your authentic self. It sounds generic. If you don't give someone the roadmap to how they get there, because most people are... The biggest question for most people is, who am I? And most people struggle to answer that question. So when you tell someone, be your authentic self, without giving them the roadmap of how to get there, they're still lost in a maze. But I think the best advice is the advice which is very specific. Like, say that which you've always been afraid to say. That's very specific advice.
You know, Kanye. That's should we say that Kanye picked up Kendrick's advice? Because he's always like,
actually,
you know
now
what?
that I think about it, right? He has always looked for ways not to be scared anymore. I think I've traced that throughout his whole interviews. But I think he's lacking the discernment in
offending others.
No, it's not just about offending others. It's as in, okay, even though it's whoever match is given, match is tested. Going by his own lyrics, by the way. Which also shows he didn't write them, because when you write your own things, usually it shows through, right? I think Ssali, the Prince, wrote it for him. Like, to whom much is given, much is tested. It's not an original thought, but he's in a position where there's so much responsibility on him as a person who is a public figure. And he's acting like a 3-year-old. He's like throwing tantrums. Like, sometimes you're responsible for the words that you say because your words hurt, right? So in your own quest to heal yourself of your fears, right? Don't scorch the whole earth. You get me? Like, a human being should live with balance and equilibrium, you know? I think that's where the answer is.
I don't know if you just watched his recent interview with what's his name? Academics.
I haven't seen it, but
he was wearing the KK.
I haven't seen it, and I'll reserve judgment. But I've already judged Kanye. Kanye is a clown right now, like the biggest clown right now to me. One of the biggest clowns I've ever seen in the hip hop music industry is Kanye West.
He said that there is where he said that it hurt me to say that about Jay. It hurt me. Everything hurts me because I'm human. And just
Nigga,
like God,
fuck your feelings. You can't talk about you can't talk about someone's children using the R word, right? And then come back and say how much you are hurt. How many people have been hurt in this world? You get me? Like, well, there's so many parts where I think being a former Kanye West fan, I'm more hurt seeing him become this idiot. You get me? Than how we used to be viewed. Kanye West was a leader of thought at some point. But to think that he had all of us bamboozled and all you have to is this trashy, attention-seeking piece of shit right now that we are seeing unraveling in front of our cameras is, it's shameful.
Quite unfortunate. Well, it's more unfortunate for Sean Kingston. I don't know if you're a fan of his, you know. Some of us were. Sean Kingston and his mom, you know, Janice Turner, were found guilty of $1 million wired fraud for scamming businesses out of luxury items, including $480K in jewelry and Cadillac Escalade. They face up to 20 years in prison, with sentencing set for July 2025. What do you think about that?
I think it's a very sad story. Really, 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 really sad. And because we've also seen the evolution of Sean Kingston, right? Sean Kingston was making good music as a rapper. The industry packaged him as a singer, and it worked for him as a singer. But every time I saw Sean Kingston on a live video, he was trying too hard to be gangster. He would flip into this character where he's speaking in a Jamaican accent and how he has killers here and killers there, which was not even believable at all. You get me? So I just see another black man trapped in a life trying to be tough, trying to play it for the streets, and look at where he's ending up.
Yeah.
Like he could have had the same career as Bruno Mars. You get me? Like it's really, really sad. And to see that his mother is also involved in the same thing. I don't mean to judge, but that shows that like he didn't have guidance in his home. If your mother is complacent in your fraud cases, she's egging you on to defraud people.
Yeah.
It's really, really sad.
Yeah, very unfortunate situation there. Yeah. Another unfortunate situation, the death of the sensational Straight Talk Africa journalist. I think you heard about it, Shaka.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. What would you have to say about Shaka growing up, you know, in his era?
I think Shaka raised us. Shaka raised us to be, again, the word authenticity comes through. Shaka is a man that lived 34 years in the United States and his accent didn't change.
Yeah.
When I look at that as a man who has spent the last decade in America and my accent is still the same, that means that he gave us courage to live authentically as Africans in our own skin. You get me?
Yeah.
And nothing has to change except what we bring to the table.
Yeah.
You get me? Like our value and what we bring to the table.
Yeah.
So Shaka has always been that boy from Chigezi,
Yeah.
a Ugandan by all means and all measures.
Yeah.
And he reminds me
from
of
Kabale?
I think Chigezi. Where's Chigezi? Is that Kabale?
Yeah,
that's Kabale. So Shaka reminds me of this ilk of journalists that were real journalists. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't know if Shaka was a supporter of the dictator he was interviewing, or whether he was like he disagreed 1,000% with what the person was saying. His job was to bring us the news and reveal different perspectives of Africa, and and give us very unbiased news. You get me?
Yeah.
So I used to watch Straight Talk Africa with my paps and my uncles.
Yeah.
And it's gentlemen like him that make you want to aspire. You get me? Aspire to. I always have the problem with Chiuganda Chinyuma, right? Because Chiuganda Chinyuma only puts us in the comedy cycle, but we fail to deal with the real issues.
Yeah.
And yet, people like Shaka, right, remind you that life is 360. Life is 360.
Yeah.
Like we can't be laughing all the time. We need to build things. We need to protect things. We need structures everywhere. It reminds you of the responsibility you have towards your community.
Yeah.
Basically, that's his legacy to me as a person several generations younger than him.
Yeah.
So rest in peace, Shaka.
It was quite interesting when they asked him a question similar to like, what would you be remembered for? What would you be, what do you want to be viewed as in terms of an icon? And he was like, as long as he remained the original boy from Kabale, for him, that is his ultimate goal. Then he has won.
Yes.
Yes, as long as that didn't change about him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's quite interesting. I don't know if you witnessed the Ikon Awards, the movie awards, because I know you're also venturing into film. And in Uganda, what do you think of the film industry in Uganda? They invited some Nigerian actors, the legendary ones, and I saw some riches being performed by the one we always knew to be the hard guy in that movie called The Billionaires, something like that. Yeah, and not riches in its actual sense, but I think they were acting.
Oh, I thought you said that was like a ritual, goats being slaughtered, chickens, being sacrificed.
I think
to
he
the
was
gods.
acting because he was coming through and he was spinning, a stick around him and spinning it around other guys.
It's basically a performance. I saw that as a performance.
Regardless, I don't think I would stand there and I would be like, What do you think about, the whole film industry and how it's growing in Uganda?
I think it's a very good thing to have something that commemorates art every year.
Yeah.
I think it's a very good thing to see. The fashion is like really high fashion. People come showing out.
Yeah.
You know, they are made up. They're looking good. The Ugandan music industry is moving at a much slower pace than the movie industry.
Yeah.
The movie industry is moving so fast, where the Ugandan music industry is like regressing.
It's safe to say that they have better award events than us.
Why do you think
music.
development is recruited to awards? That's a discussion for another day. But it's not just about awards. To me, it's about the capacity that has been built over the years.
Yeah.
So you're going to find film companies, I don't know how many they are, but they are burgeoning each and every day.
Yeah.
More producers, more people making props, more people doing makeup, trained actors, right? Trained directors, trained lightsmen and gaffers, you get me?
Yeah.
Like, that's an industry that's growing, and that has the potential to keep on growing.
Yeah.
While the Ugandan music industry doesn't even have the potential to train 10 new managers.
Yeah.
Like, it's regressing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a good thing to see, and one of the things I'm also happy to see is that the cross-pollination between East and West Africa,
yeah,
I think that's really dope.
Yeah.
Like, we have a lot to learn from the prolific, let me make sure I don't butcher this word. The Nigerians are the most prolific right now.
Yeah.
It used to be Bollywood, but Nigeria produces more movies than Hollywood and Bollywood.
Yeah.
So if Nollywood, there's something to learn about how to create works really fast, but also maintaining the quality. It's a good thing to see, East and West meeting.
Yeah.
It's a Pan-African's dream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a musician by Joshua Baraka, name's Joshua Baraka, said anyone who says AI will replace creatives has never been a creative. And yeah, but he went on to say that, well, AI can be a creative tool for creatives.
He's right.
Yeah.
He's very right.
Yeah.
But it will replace some. Let me tell you how it replaces some. Oh, it has replaced some already.
Yeah.
Like, let me make sure, like, I word this correctly. Like, there was a time I used to pay graphic designers, right?
Yeah.
Huge sums of money to give me something.
Yeah.
But nowadays, maybe because I'm a creative and I can create on a level that I can refine my own works.
Yeah.
But I find that if you're not looking for specificity and customized works,
yeah,
you could easily get away just using AI.
Yeah.
You get me? Just designing an album cover can just use a few tools and get to that, right? Yet before it was, you know, like, who's the best photographer, who is the best graphics designer, who is the best, you know, like, it had to take a team to create something nice.
Yeah.
Nowadays, that's a command.
Yeah.
You know, that's a command.
Yeah.
So for the musicians, the tool AI only helps you get better. You get me?
Yeah.
For graphic designers, it helps them get better. For movie makers, it helps them get better.
Yeah.
But I remember clearly when I was in Hollywood, there was a very big strike when the writers were hitting the table to put it in the Luganda, to paraphrase it, like in the Luganda way, bali bakube meza.
Yeah.
Because the industry had figured out that they could cut the writing staff in half.
Yeah.
Or even an eighth. They only needed an eighth of the staff of the people creating all these wonderful shows. The speed at which, so let's say if you're paid $750, yeah?
Yeah.
$750 a week or an hour, depending on how good you are, to write a script.
Yeah.
Right? And the script could take like 12 months. Guess how long AI does that for?
A few seconds.
A few seconds, right? And then all you have to do is refine the idea.
Yeah.
But I think also, so if I needed people to come up with ideas in like a writer's room, right?
Yeah.
Where it's all like throwing spaghetti at a wall to see what sticks, to figure out what's the best way this character can go, I could ask AI to give me that. AI is basically your boardroom.
Yeah.
So it makes creative people at the top more creative, but you could do away with the masses.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like,
I get what you're saying.
It could eliminate many, while the few who know how to use the tool can get away with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Besides, the world is advancing, technology is advancing, the things whereby you needed to think a lot, you just have to click a button and, you know.
Yeah, but if you're not creative, you won't know what command to give something. You won't even know how to describe colors. You don't know how to describe the brush, you don't know.
You ask AI.
Okay.
Which button should I press? I want to do this.
That's another fact.
Literally everything, anything you think of.
Yeah.
These days, everybody is like, they're even going away from Google. They're like, ChatGPT. Just ask AI.
Let me ask you something. Ask you something. What do you think makes a good artist a good artist?
Their creativity.
Their creativity. But creativity boils down to what?
Talent?
No.
What?
It depends. It's you being a test maker, knowing this word won't work here, knowing this lyric won't suit this part, knowing this melody doesn't work for women, this melody will work better with this beat. It's you being a test maker, basically.
Yeah.
So if you're not good you don't have a good taste. If you don't have good taste in art, if you don't have good taste in colors, you don't have good taste in fashion, there's no way you're going to use AI to create clothes. But if a person is already good, they just look through what AI has created and say, this is good, this is trash, this is good, this is trash. Some other people don't have that discernment. I know so many people who are talented, they can do a lot, they have all the skills, but when it comes down to execution, they have the poorest of tests. You get me? So it all boils down to test.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How is your son doing? I know he's now grown.
The young lion is.
I'm asking you that.
Young lion is good.
I'm asking you that because Tia has been facing, going back and
don't
forth.
Put my
with
son and Tia's son in the same thought. I rebuke that in the name of Jesus Christ.
No, just putting it in perspective that you are creative and you're an artist and a
but
dad
his son
at the
is
same
a very, very creative kid.
Yeah, and right now they are seeing eye to eye, but before, things were not going well. They weren't agreeing on stuff and things like that. Do you ever think of that when it comes to, you having a son? Do you ever think of him like he's going to grow and he's going to want his own things?
Always. And I hope I raise a son who can disagree with me on some things.
Yeah.
And I hope that there are things that we can agree on. You get me?
Yeah.
Because if you agree on everything, then who is the human being you've raised? You get me?
That's for sure.
You need someone who to think better than you at a certain point. You get me?
Yeah.
Not even think better, but see things from another perspective, or who makes you see things from another perspective. That's how generations have been able to improve upon generations.
Yeah.
It doesn't come out of agreeing, it's in questioning what's existing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Quite interesting there. We are waiting to see the young lion is growing, how do they call it? Like fine wine, step by step. And I'm sure Ugandans are waiting to, one time witness the young lion come up. Well, Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre announced that they were teaming up for a new venue downtown called Still Gin Lounge by Dre and Snoop. Basically, they're planning to open up a club.
I think, they have a club? I thought it was I think they already have a gin.
A brand. They already have
juice
that.
And
now
gin,
they're
right?
planning to open up
a venue downtown?
Yeah.
I think that would be so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You who has opened up a venue before, let's say a bar.
Yes.
What advice would you have for them? Or would you encourage...
Me advising Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre
Why not?
to open up their bar.
Why not?
Come on, man. Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre are on a level where that's a question for one of the biggest marketing agencies they can hire.
Yeah.
Or who they keep on retainer. I have nothing to advise them on.
It will be located.
If maybe they want a theme night, which is African, in that club, I would definitely have something to contribute.
It will be located in the basement level of Nashville Live. A 4-story multiple concept venue located.
Nashville is not in LA though. Is that the name of the building?
Yeah, I think so. Just off the drag of Broadway.
there is Broadway in every city. That's you haven't given me. Every city has their Broadway streets. You get me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
LA downtown has Broadway. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I don't see Snoop and Dre opening a club in New York.
Yeah.
It doesn't even make
definitely.
sense for them to be in Nashville, because Nashville is the capital of music, but it's more country music.
Yeah.
So it makes sense to be in LA downtown. I can see that.
Yeah.
Next to the fashion district, yeah.
Yeah. Are you happy with where hip hop is right now since you came back, like in Uganda? Are you happy with where
With
it
Ugandan
is?
hip hop or American hip hop? Or global hip hop?
Ugandan hip hop. Oh, okay, let's say global, and then of course let's think for our country as well, because it looks like everybody's rapping for their own, but we always, go general and not speak about specifically our very own.
Yes.
Yeah. So generally speaking, in Uganda, are you happy with the way things are hip hop wise?
I mean, when it comes to hip hop Uganda, there are so many players, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
More than ever,
Yeah.
which is a good thing. The lyricism has a different style,
Yeah.
and it's evolving.
Yeah.
I can see the fashion, so much expression through fashion.
Yeah. Fashion.
Yeah. I see kids dripped out. I see people dripped out.
Yeah.
You get me? Though some people drip with flood. You get me?
Yeah.
I see people dripped out, and I think every household now has a rapper.
Yeah.
Whether they're a trap rapper, or they're a drill rapper, or they're lyricists, or whether they're an old school chap.
Yeah.
When I listen to the radio adverts on Kampala radio,
Yeah.
whether they like it or not, they're trying to fashion them in a way which is the culture.
Yeah.
So if you're blind to hip hop, you'll say hip hop isn't existing really in UG. But if you have a keen eye and you can observe, you see the sneaker culture, right? That's hip hop. You see spoken word. There's an ad which is basically poetry. And I'm like, okay, maybe I had something to do with inspiring that. I do that,
Yeah.
you get me? Or could have been anybody, could have been a Jill Scott Heron or whatever. Like, the strings of hip hop are everywhere.
Yeah.
The only thing now that we have to do is reconnect the dots with the past.
Yeah.
And not the past, which is like 15 years. I'm talking about the past.
Yeah.
I'm talking about your ancestors.
Yeah.
You get me? Like, when you have those connecting strings, you see the influence everywhere.
Yeah.
But the thing is, people are divorced to the idea of describing hip hop or seeing hip hop unless it's on radio.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it doesn't have massive airplay, because massive airplay is dictated by budgets. And from what I'm seeing or observing, not all rappers have that budget.
Yeah.
But on TikTok, yeah, hip hop is present.
Yeah.
In WhatsApp groups, hip hop is alive.
Yeah.
In every place you go to, we did a good job of sowing seeds
Yeah.
of this culture called Luga flow.
Yeah.
That whether you call it a Choli flow, that's still Luga flow.
Yeah.
It's under the umbrella of Luga flow, because Luga means word.
Yeah.
The Luga is a Swahili word that means word, basically.
Yeah.
So it's that mother tongue flow. You get me? So in Acholi, you have people doing their thing. East, you have people doing their thing. I'm so sure you see Baboon Forest every time with a chart which is balanced from like all regions of Uganda.
Yeah.
You have Western Uganda. Truth has just had a concert, right?
Yeah.
It's coming, eh? But I've seen Truth doing their activations in Barara. And also, if it doesn't happen, good luck with your concert.
Yeah.
Good luck to Truth. So that's in Barara popping off with artists that are hip hop artists.
Yeah.
I'm so sure Western Uganda has something coming.
Yeah.
Hip hop is everywhere. Basically, if you don't say that this generation, the next generation, and now belongs to hip hop, 2026 is definitely a hip hop year.
Yeah.
You're reading the signs wrong if you can't see that now.
Yeah.
TikTok, everybody's rapping, everybody's dripped out. You know, like the bright is very future.
Yeah.
The future is very bright.
Like we may say, they say rappers change, so we want to know how you feel about it.
How I feel about it?
Yeah.
If you ain't up on things.
Yeah. Well, Travis Scott is coming to South Africa.
Oh, for a minute there, I thought you were going to say he's coming to Kawempe.
But on the look of things, you know, there is an artist at some point to say that what does, South Africa is bringing guys, Rwanda is, and, all these other African countries, and what is Uganda bringing?
I think you should first grow your own talent.
Yeah.
And grow structures.
Yeah.
Yeah. South Africa has structures that have been built. They have a 90,000 capacity stadium.
Yeah.
We don't have that. Not saying that that's the only venue where people can perform. But I think we need arenas that have been built like the one in Rwanda.
Yeah.
Like it's amazing. It's an amazing arena. And it's multi-purpose.
Yeah.
We just need that commitment, and I think promoters that can, and promoters with taste.
Yeah.
You get me? I hope that didn't sound harsh. I didn't mean to be harsh.
They won't even get it.
They won't get it.
They won't get it.
Forget it.
Well, to wind this up, what happened to your Spotify? You announced that your songs were off and everything.
Yeah, I'm tired of you listening to old shit. I want you to listen to my new shit.
Okay. So you decided to scrap them off. Come on, I thought you're getting money off that.
Yeah,
regardless, because streams keep coming up.
Yeah, I want new money. But here's the thing, though. On a serious note,
yeah,
most of my music is off. We're trying to get it back. And we're trying to get a better quality upload for you.
Yeah.
Some have been mastered, some have been remastered.
Yeah.
But hopefully it will be back soon.
Yeah.
And thank you for always supporting.
Yeah.
I know you like the old shit. I like the old shit too. I was just playing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and hopefully I'll have some more singles for you as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And besides, we like everything. I don't know why artists...
Yeah, the beauty is when people come to my shows, I perform from song number 1 to the latest I've released. So it's always a good time because I have fans who come through specifically for certain joints.
Yeah.
You get me? Like, I can't deny someone who came to listen to Dear Hip Hop.
Yeah.
You get me? Which is more recent than Olabia Chana or Ghetto Mentality or Soda or one of those. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's it. Pleasure to have you, Mr. G, and thanks for clarifying.
It's a pleasure to be heard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Yeah.